So you want to have a book event, but you only got $20 in good intentions. What do? What's up? I am Valencia Lord, a Black Torah observant Christian romance author. I write romances of imperfect people seeking the face of a perfect Yah. Let's go. So today is actually the anniversary of me having my very first book signing. Yes, my book Love is a Code dropped last year, September 17, 2023, and I had my very first book signing on October 27, 2023. So let me put you up on game. How do you have a book event and you ain't got a lot of money? Because I did this on a teacher salary. If you know anything about being a teacher, oh yeah, they pay us on good wishes and good intents. That's it. Now, you could be wanting to have your own book event, so for your own particular book, or you may be wanting to go to a book festival and sell your books. Let's talk about the top two most expensive things that you would have to consider when having a book event. Number one is going to be buying your books, right? So make sure that when you buy your books, that you're buying from your distributor, such as Amazon, KDP. I don't know. Their author books may have a tag on them. I'm not sure because I'm not a KDP person, but I'll go through Ingram Spark. So what I do is I buy a case of books from Ingram Spark, and here's the tidbit: you want to make sure that you take and you purchase them in early enough time so you don't have to pay for that quick shipping, because that quick shipping is going to eat up your coin. Now here's the sauce: if you're having a book event yourself, you definitely want to make sure that you prioritize having physical copies of your book, because many of the people that show up are showing up because they want to buy your book from you. They don't want to buy your book from Amazon, Barnes and Noble, whatever bookseller that you're selling through. They want to buy your book through you. Now, on the other hand, if you're going to a book event such as a book festival or some type of book panel with other authors, yes, you want to have a couple books on hand, but I'm telling you, you want to push a QR code so that they can buy your book online, and that reduces your cost of having to spend money to have this event. The second most expensive thing is going to be your locale. That's something that you want to think about. For example, if you're going to a book festival, they're going to have a host hotel that's going to cost a chunk of change, right? You can still go, but you may want to find a local hotel that's not as expensive. The second part of that is that you're hosting your own book event and you want to rent out a space. Let me give you a couple of things to think about. Okay. So the first one is hosting at a library. If you host at a library, you cannot sell products inside of a library. You would have to have a table or something set up outside where people can go outside or stop outside and purchase before coming into your book event. If you have a team of people, some or at least one other person that will help you run your event, they can set up outside and you can be inside doing your thing so you can still make money. Number two, look at restaurants. Look at restaurant spaces. A lot of restaurants have spaces in the back where you can sit up and have events. And the prices for those are probably going to be a little less expensive because they know that they're going to make money because you're bringing traffic into their venue. So they probably going to cut you a little check, cut you a little discount. And then number three, you want to look at local event spaces. Those may be more expensive, but if there's someone that you know that has an event space, they may be able to cut you a discount or something. The fourth one, and this one is also going to be a free one. Think about your local parks, right? If you have a local park and they have a pavilion or a stage, depending on the season, that may be the place to go. That may be the thing to do so you can collect people and you not having to spend money on a physical space in order to host your book event. The second thing you want to think about is your table scape. I'm telling you, a table scape draws the eye. So when thinking of your table scape, I want you to think about four things. I want you to think about the tablecloth. I want you to think about backdrop. I want you to think about book stands or stands. And I want you to think about the organization of the material on your table. Now, I'm the person, I'm going to have a decorated, a customized tablecloth for the National Black Book Festival that I just came back from last week. I did not have my book cloth in time. So what I did was I had a library background that I got from my mama, my grandmama, and I placed it over the table. It was nice, orange, crisp, clean, beautiful Okay. But it also goes with my brand about me being an author. If you're trying to save a check, let me tell you what to do. Go to your local Walmart or Target, and I want you to look at their curtain section. I want you to find a curtain that goes good with your brand. Let's say you're like me and you have a easy to market brand. Okay. So the name of my publishing company is Sunflowers and Publishing Romance. So your girl got sunflowers everywhere you look. So a good idea is to find a yellow tablecloth, a sunflower sunny type of tablecloth, or something that has sunflowers on it to place as a tablecloth. Maybe you haven't nailed your brand down just yet, but you have this beautiful book that you're trying to sell, like my book, Love Is a Coat. Another way that you can brand your table is to have a tablecloth that is a complementary color to the book that you are primarily selling. So for this book, I would go with either a nice crisp white tablecloth, a dark blue tablecloth, or maybe even a black tablecloth. So this book will pop. And if not tablecloth, you can do a fabric curtain. The fabric curtains will need to be orange so they look nice and clean, but easy way to save money and have a nice branded table. Now, when you think about your backdrop, I want you to think about signage. When I was at the National Black Book Festival, there were so many authors that had these tripod stands with cloth printed pull down, I don't know what you call those pull down things that had their information on it. They had their book covers on it. So big pop out stands that you can use to show your brand, show off your books. Now, if you're trying to save money, you may want to think about maybe having a poster like I did. Check out my poster from my book signing last year that I had made. And this large book poster is something that is going with me everywhere that I can take it. I couldn't fly to Houston, but everywhere that I set up, this large picture frame of my book is going to be utilized so that you see my book, you see my cover, you see my brand and what I'm selling from a far off. It draws the eye to you. The third thing you want to think about is book stands. How are you going to be displaying your books? Now, a couple different options. You may want to get a book rack, which looks like a magazine rack that sits upright, and you can sit that on your table. But if you have that, you want to make sure that you have enough books to fill that up. Maybe you only have a couple books, so you may want to do like a little table stand where you can either place your book closed on top of it or have your book open to a specific page on top of your book stand. Another thing to think about is bookmark stands, because that's something that I invested in as an author as well, because each of my books has a branded bookmark that goes with it. So I bought a stand to put all of my bookmarks in, and I have a custom backdrop in my stand, my bookmark stand, to showcase my publishing company. I saw so many different ways that people had their books set up and spread out over their table. So there's different options. You just want to think about what's best for you and what's most affordable to you. The number one thing I definitely want to say that you need to get is an acrylic stand so that you can print out a clear piece of paper, maybe with your book cover on it, maybe an upcoming release that you don't have physical copies of on it, or a cute little mock-up of your picture with your QR code, your branding. I'm gonna show you mine here that I use at the National Book Festival. She was gorgeous. Love it. And you want to make sure that you have a critic stand with that in it. So you're not spending a lot of money on a nice printed thing. You're going to take and print off on plain copyright paper, and you're going to put it in that acrylic stand, and it's going to be set up on your table looking gorgeous the whole time you're there. That leads us to the last part about how you organize your table. You want to make sure that your table is organized in a way that's going to draw the eye to your table to attract customers to you. So think very creative about how you want your table to look, how you want your table to be set up. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're focusing on your branding and on the vision of your table. Now, if this helped you think about starting or going to a book event, I want you to drop in the comments and let me know, what book event are you getting ready to go to or have after watching this video. Shalom.